Channel 2.
April 28th, 2025.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Monday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And boy, another chilly April morning out there.
Yeah, it's been a chilly weekend and a rainy weekend, if that, too. But today starts out cold. Top 10 day today.
Really?
Yes, I'm telling you right now. It's going to be a beautiful afternoon, beautiful morning. Well, maybe a little cool of a morning, but still, a look outside right now, a live look at downtown Utica. Dry conditions as we speak, and skies are mainly clear early this morning. And those temperatures are hovering in the low 30s. Still some dew forming on some surfaces, potentially freezing over in some others, which of course is happening in the North Country as we speak. Again, really cutting it close in the Mohawk Valley with those temperatures in the low 30s. Radar right now looking dry with plenty of sunshine expected this afternoon, but an early heads up for tomorrow. A strong cold front passes over our area. This has the potential of producing some strong winds, thunderstorms, lightning, hail, you name it. And this is something we're keeping a close eye on over the next couple of days. So just an early heads up. We'll have more details on this coming up in a few minutes. But at least for today, enjoy the sunshine. Look at this. Wall-to-wall sun, highs upper 60s, low 70s. I know this hasn't happened over the weekend, but Monday arrives. We'll take this plenty of sun as Mother Nature does deliver it. So we are tracking that. Plus, again, the details on that storm system tomorrow in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Time now is 5:10. We're on our downward stretch of April. We begin May in a few days, but at least on this Monday, we'll be dealing with plenty of sunshine after a pretty unsettled weekend. A look at the CommuteCast right now. First off, a look at live cameras across the board. Dry conditions overall. Some of you might be waking up to some frost on your windshield, especially in those higher elevations in the Adirondacks north. But either way, we've got a clear view of the sunrise in Oneonta and the morning sun, Venus, and the night sky as well. Traffic tracker, lots of green across the board and no accidents to report. And again, the radar also looking dry early this morning. So heading out, watch out for some patchy frost on your windshield. Again, it might take a minute or two to scrape it off, those are in the North Country. But other than that, sunshine this afternoon, temperatures peaking in the upper 60s, low 70s. A beautiful day today. It's going to be even warmer tomorrow, but we are tracking a severe weather threat for our area in the evening hours tomorrow. Again, the latest details on that coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Millions of people are in the threat.
The Oneonta Cam is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, on this Monday. Time now 5:16, and early today we are tracking plenty of sunshine, clear skies. In fact, look at downtown Utica right now. We've got dry conditions across the city and pretty much all of the area itself. 32 degrees here in downtown Utica as we speak. So it is a cool start to the day today, but things will warm up quickly by this afternoon. Radar looking dry. We zoom out on the radar and satellite scans, and we've got a pretty busy stretch of weather here in the Midwest later on in the day today. As mentioned about a few minutes ago, a severe weather threat for the Midwest. This is expected today. This is expected tomorrow. That front continues to move its way east. It won't be nearly as strong, but we will be in the crosshairs of some of this storm system, which is why we have tomorrow as a weather aware day. What's the reason for it? We've got several ingredients in play here. Lots of shear or change in wind direction speed with altitude. Unstable atmosphere. We've got some warming conditions and humidity present tomorrow. A strong driver, a cold front moving its way east, and low cloud cover, which is one of those the ingredients needed for instability to form in the atmosphere. So we got all these things at play here, and because of that, here is our severe weather risk for tomorrow. We're in level 2 out of 5. We're on the fringe of level 3 out of 5 severe weather risk. That stays mainly out west. We're going to wait for more data this afternoon whether that brown area moves its way east. If it does, we're warranting an alert day tomorrow. But still, we're keeping a close eye on the latest data. Biggest concerns, strong winds, hail, stones possible in these storms, as well as isolated risk for tornado. Again, in the setup, it's possible, it's non-zero. Not a big risk, though, but just an early heads up that this type of storm system could produce a rotating storm. So, bigger picture. Here we are with that high pressure moving in today. Plenty of sun. Here comes that low pressure system tomorrow. That warm front works its way in, and you can see here in the early afternoon, we're dodging some of those rotating storm chances. Then this line of storms roll through in the evening, roughly between 9 and 10 p.m. So let's zoom in here in the skycast. So today, it's quiet, a few passing clouds, otherwise highs in the upper 60s, low 70s. Tonight, pretty mild. We got that south wind at play here, so we warm it quickly into the upper 60s, eventually upper 70s by this tomorrow afternoon. So maybe a stray shower by around noontime Tuesday. But you can see here, 4:30 looks pretty quiet, but it depends on the model. We turn to another model here called the HRRR, and you can see. So these storms that begin to fire up around 4 p.m. We're tracking this, and then the potential for a secondary round to arrive by, say, 8, 9, 10 p.m. The good news is if it arrives this late, instability is a lot less. The sun is set, but still, these storms could pack a punch. So we're going to follow this development throughout the next day or so, as, of course, we get more consistent data as the day moves along. So your 7-day forecast, again, a wear day in place for tomorrow. We could upgrade it to an alert day by noontime today. Either way, we're cooling down a little bit for the final day of April, 55 the high, still plenty of sunshine. First day of May, 62 degrees and sunshine. Rain showers arrive Friday, and hopefully we get a dry weekend next weekend. We've been just dealing with rain showers every Saturday, so hopefully that changes.
We'll take the temps in the 50s. At least it'll be sunny, that's for sure. Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:20. Still ahead on Sunday. And thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libator. Meteorologist Eric Gage is over in the Weather Center, where, Eric, it may be a cold morning out there, but things are about to change, right?
Yeah, that's right. We're dealing with cold temperatures early this morning, but sunshine continues on and it warms up quick. A look at the sunrise this morning in Oneonta. Again, it's a crisp start to your day today. We're sitting at 37 degrees, still slightly above freezing in the city right now, but of course, you see those clear skies out in the distance. We're tracking that sunshine and, of course, that warmer weather later on in the day today. Across the state with other local temperatures, we're at the 32-degree mark in Rome and in Hamilton, 27 in Saranac Lake, so a little cooler up in the Adirondacks. But the radar looking dry early this morning, and we are tracking that sunshine and that warmth later on in the day today. But first, just an early heads up, we do have a weather aware day tomorrow. This is due to the fact that a strong storm system moves its way from the Midwest into our area. It weakens a little bit, but still some of that strength is there. And there could be the potential for some strong wind gusts, some hail, some heavy rain, thunderstorms, and because of that, aware day in effect. And we might upgrade it to alert day. We'll let you know when that happens later on this morning. But again, today, plenty of sun. Top 10 day highs in the upper 60s, low 70s. We are tracking, again, the arrival of that rain and storms tomorrow in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. President Trump is...
The Oneonta Camp is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss.
Welcome back, everyone. On this Monday, we are showcasing our photo of the day today, which takes us to Cassville. So shout out to Cassville this morning. It's a photo of a sunrise on the farm taken by Brittany. It's an amazing shot right there of the sunrise out in the distance. And of course, a shout out to all the local farmers that work hard to keep this country running. And of course, you get all these beautiful photos sent here of the farmland. It's a great signature of upstate New York and central New York. The fact that now we're entering seasons where the crops start to grow, and of course the backbone of the country on why those crops grow. So again, a big shout out to the farmers of our area. If you have a photo like that you'd like to submit to us, you can send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics for the chance to have your photo featured right here on News Channel 2 at sunrise, as well as showcased on our social media pages. So today, it starts out rather cold, temperatures in the 30s and even 20s in parts of our area, but we warm up pretty quickly, going into the 40s, 50s, eventually 60s, pushing 70 degrees this afternoon. And a pretty quiet day today weather-wise, but it turns pretty active tomorrow with potential for storms. And the details on that coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. As the world marked Israel's
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Early today, it's a cool start. Temperatures hovering right around the freezing points, and but still pretty quiet conditions. Downtown Utica, a live view right now. Morning twilight turning to morning sunshine in about an hour or so, and still it is a little frosty in some spots, and especially in the higher elevations north. But the radar is dry for this hour, and we'll continue to see dry conditions throughout the day today. We zoom out in the bigger picture. The radar and satellite is picking up on a storm system out in the northern Midwest. This is the one that is making headlines with a pretty significant severe weather threat, especially in the Minneapolis area, heading into Wisconsin and northern Iowa. But the main focus here locally is the fact that this system continues east. It weakens a little bit, but it will reach our area by tomorrow, especially tomorrow evening. And this is why tomorrow is a weather-aware day. We have ingredients in play here, and you can see a lot of these check-marked boxes checked off. We have lots of shear or wind direction and speed change with altitude, an unstable atmosphere with heat and humidity, a strong driver being that cold front moving east, and still low cloud cover expected, which with all these checked off are ingredients that could support the potential for severe weather tomorrow. And in fact, here is a look at that severe weather risk as we speak. And we can see here lots of yellows here in the Mohawk Valley, North Country, Southern Valleys, even some browns out west. These colors you can see here, yellow, level 2 out of 5 risk, brown, level 3 out of 5 risk for severe weather. Usually when we are witnessing a lot more of this brown, level 3 out of 5, that warrants an alert day due to that strong potential for severe weather. But now we're at level 2. We'll keep it as a wear day for now, but it might change as we head into this afternoon. Either way, biggest concerns are high winds, potential for hail, as well as the isolated chance for a tornado. It's non-zero, but it's still there, especially with this type of setup. So what do we see here? Well, this warm front moves its way in. We're tracking this trailing cold front, which could fire up some of those storms heading into tomorrow evening. So you can see it timing-wise here in our Skycast. Sunshine today, quiet weather, no severe conditions expected today. Tonight, looking quiet, overnight lows only in the 40s and 50s. Then tomorrow, we start out quiet, highs climb into the mid-70s, isolated shower potential here and there, but different models are still putting out different outputs. You can see here, it's dry, but a separate model here shows some storms rolling through around 4 or so p.m. Either way, there's still pretty good consensus that a secondary cold front will drag in some showers, even some storms by 9:30, 10 o'clock tomorrow night. So because of that, tomorrow, a Storm Tracker 2 weather aware day. Just keep your weather app handy. You can download that QR code at the bottom of the screen there. You can take us to our weather app. Warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, anything of that sort gets put right to our app. As soon as it happens, it's a great tool to have, especially if you're out and about and you're not next to a TV.
Yeah, great resource to have,
Yes.
that's for sure. Eric, thank you. The time right now is 5:50. Right now,
With Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Monday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
With a chilly morning out there for the kids, huh?
Yes, bundle up a little bit. It's right around 30 to 31 degrees, but it's dry, and we're looking at plenty of sun today, which is the great news. Quite the opposite of this past weekend. On top of that, a look outside right now in Oneonta, where we are tracking that sun slowly moving over the horizon as we speak. And the temperature sitting at 36 degrees in the City of the Hills, so it's a little warmer down in the southern valleys. Either way, a warm-up is expected as we head into this afternoon. Still, though, early this morning, 30s, low 30s across the state, 27 up in Saranac Lake, so it has fallen quite below freezing in parts of the North Country. Radar right now entirely dry. We're expecting an entirely dry day today, but a different story as we head into tomorrow. We have a weather aware day in effect, which means that just to make sure you're tuned in, we do the local forecasts as well as having a way to access information, whether it's severe thunderstorm warnings and whatnot. Because a strong cold front arrives tomorrow, strong winds, potential for hail, thunder, and lightning possible, isolated tornado possible as well. This is just an overall setup that could produce some pretty strong storms. We want to make sure you're weather aware as we head into tomorrow. Still, though, today, high temperatures peak in the upper 60s to low 70s with plenty of sun. So easily a top 10 day today. Maybe get in some golfing, maybe some mowing. But we are looking at that rain arriving tomorrow, the details, timing, and whatnot, all that and more in that full forecast. Gary?
Good mowcast for today.
Yes, beautiful.
Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, one person was airlifted to a Syracuse.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back. Time now 6:10 on this Monday morning. Hope everyone had a great weekend. The weather didn't really cooperate all too much. It was a bit rainy and even snowing in some spots, especially those higher elevations up north. But either way, it ended with some sunshine to wrap up Sunday, and we're seeing a lot more of that today. Look at the Munson Commutecast. The sun just peeking over the hills in Oneonta as we speak, and still some clear skies in Utica, Cooperstown, and in Deerfield from our CATV Tower Cam. So this morning we are tracking dry conditions, dry roadways, maybe some patchy frost on your windshield, but that's the only travel impact expected early this morning. You might budget maybe a minute or so to scrape that off your windshield, but either way, we're looking at plenty of sun this afternoon with dry weather on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. So today, patchy frost this morning, giving way to plenty of sunshine this afternoon. And all in all, no impacts travel-wise expected today, but tomorrow we have the potential for severe weather. Some of this is actually taking place today in the Midwest, which of course, Gary will have more on that just right now. Gary?
Eric, that's right. Millions are in the threat zone.
Spoil your day. Watch for the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast and be ready for your drive to and from work. The Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast is brought to you by the Pratt Munson College of Art and Design. Visit Pratt Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity. Garrity Pools and Spa, your authorized BioGuard dealer. The Oneonta Cam is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Wow, what a beautiful shot of the sunrise there in Oneonta. Welcome back. Time now 6:16, and early today we are looking at clear skies and cold conditions. Downtown Utica, a live view right now. We're waking up to temperatures right around or below freezing. Some cases down south a little bit warmer, North Country a little cooler. Either way, it is dry on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, and we are tracking pretty much this same situation for the entire day today. We zoom out though, and things look a little busy, especially in the northern Midwest, the Dakotas, Minnesota right now, parts of eventually Wisconsin and Iowa will be included in a very, I wouldn't say rare, but uncommon, level 4 out of 5 severe weather risk indicated by the red zone here. Minneapolis, parts of Wisconsin, again, and Iowa included in this bullseye of this event. So this is going to make headlines today. This system is going to weaken but still move its way east tomorrow. This is the severe weather risk for our area, included in that zone, level 3 out of 5 risk for the areas of the Finger Lakes and even parts of central New York, which will zoom in a second. So tomorrow is a weather aware day. Why is it a weather aware day? Well, we have lots of shear or a change in wind direction and speed with altitude. Unstable atmosphere. We got heat and humidity present, a strong driver being that cold front, and there's a lack of cloud cover, which will add to that instability. So because of that, we are tracking this risk zone here locally. And notice the biggest concerns, some strong winds, some hail potential in some of these cells as well. And you can see here, level 2 out of 5 risk in this yellow zone, level 3 out of 5 in the brown. As we get more data today, we're going to see if this zone shifts, if we get more brown or a bit more yellow. We're in the yellow zone, so we're a weather aware day. But if we're in that brown level 3 out of 5 zone, that's when we produce that the alert day. Still, isolated tornado potential. It's non-zero, but it's there, and a setup like this is conducive to produce 1 or 2 of them. But we'll keep a close eye on that. Either way, this is all driven by this warm front and then a trailing cold front prime conditions for strong to severe storms. And we zoom in here in the Skycast. Pretty quiet today. It's a beautiful afternoon. Highs upper 60s, low 70s. So no severe weather today. Pretty quiet. You have any yard work or anything outdoors planned? Today's looking perfect. Tomorrow starts out dry, warm afternoon, early afternoon, and then by the evening. This is where we have the potential for rotating storms in the early afternoon. Our model here shows almost nothing. Our secondary model here shows pretty active late afternoon, around 4 or so p.m. Either way, we're keeping a close eye on that. Then by, say, 8, 9, 10 p.m., that's when our secondary round of rain, thunderstorms from a cold front moves through. This is more so straight line wind concern. So we got 2 different setups here we're monitoring for Tuesday. Then this clears out and we dry out and cool down by Wednesday. So your 7-day forecast, no severe weather risk today. Tomorrow, potentially around 3, 4, 5 p.m. and then a secondary round 8, 9, 10 p.m. And then we quiet down for the end of April and early May.
So that Midwest weather is heading our way tomorrow.
Yes, and hopefully it weakens. A lot of that might arrive after sunset, which is good news for us.
Yeah, that's for sure. Eric, thanks. Well, an investigation is underway after an SUV. And thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libator. Meteorologist Eric Gage is over in the Weather Center tracking some chilly weather for the kids this morning. But Eric, things are going to warm up nicely today, right?
Yeah, that's right. We got plenty of sun. That's going to warm things up very quickly. In fact, right now, a live look at Oneonta. That sun starting to move in as we speak. And on top of that, this is ushering in some warmer temperatures today. So unlike the weekend, especially Sunday, which was cold and windy, we're seeing more of this and less of those clouds, even some rain showers. It is still 36 right now in the city of Oneonta, but that's going to change throughout the day. Still, wall-to-wall sunshine over pretty much all of the upstate New York area, but still a little cold in the low 30s, even upper 20s in parts of the Adirondacks. Radar looking dry early today, and expect this similar sight throughout this afternoon and evening. And I would say potentially a top 10 day today weather-wise. But by tomorrow, we're monitoring the potential for severe weather or strong to severe storms as a cold front ushers in some storms that could be on the stronger side with some stronger winds, hail, as well as thunder and lightning, isolated tornado possible as well. We're going to break down the timing and the impacts of it coming up in a few minutes in our full forecast. But at least for today, expect plenty of sun. Highs upper 60s, low 70s. No rain or severe weather expected today. So if you have any outdoor plans, maybe mowing the lawn or even golfing, it'd be a great day for that, Gary.
For sure, Eric, thank you. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. President Trump is back.
The Oneonta Camp is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss.
Happy Monday, guys. We're actually winding down April, a few more days until May, and almost a third of the year already gone by. So 2025 is just, in the snap of a finger, just flying by. Either way, our photo of the day takes us to Cassville this morning with a photo of sunrise on the farm taken by Brittany. A shout out to Cassville this morning, and of course a shout out to the hardworking farmers who make this area go. They're the backbone of this country, and of course it's always great to drive by in this area, fields and fields of either crops or even cattle, horses, everything, you name it. Again, a shout out to all the workers that run this country. Pretty much, you wouldn't have what we have without your hard work. So thank you. Thank you to the farmers out there. Today, though, we are looking at temperatures in the 30s. It's a cold start, but we warm up quickly into the 50s, 60s, pushing 70 this afternoon. Dry across the board, but we are looking at the potential for severe weather tomorrow. A more detailed look at the timing and impacts of that in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. As the world marked Israel's
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. We looked at a pretty cold and even rainy Sunday, but sunshine peeked out later on in the day, and we're seeing a lot more of that this afternoon. A look in downtown Utica as we speak. We are tracking plenty of sunshine, and although cold temperatures initially right around the low 30s, we warm up quickly into the 40s, 50s, eventually pushing 70 in parts of our area later on in the day today. Radar, of course, looking dry. We're seeing much of this throughout the entire day today. But we zoom out, and something to mention, there's severe weather taking place in the northern Midwest today, especially in this zone right here. Notice these rain showers kind of bowing this zone right here. Level 4 out of 5 risk for severe weather. Now, this is happening today. This is what's going to happen tomorrow. That system is going to continue its way east. It's going to weaken a little bit, but still a lot of those ingredients are present for the potential for strong to severe storms. And while checking off this checklist today, a few things to note to make this a weather-aware day. We've got lots of shear or change in wind speed or direction with altitude, an unstable atmosphere. Ingredients include heat and humidity, a strong driver being that cold front approaching from the west, and a lack of decent cloud cover, which will add to that instability. So when you have all these ingredients present, you create the potential for a severe thunderstorm risk. And at this point, we're level 2 out of 5 in the yellow zone. The brown is level 3 out of 5. The green, level 1 out of 5. So you can see the somewhat of the zone here impacting us here locally, a portion of western Ada County in that zone. However, this might shift east or west dependent on what the data later this morning indicates. And we'll have updates later on this morning as well. But still, biggest concern, strong winds, potential for hail to form, as well as an isolated chance for a tornado. There'll be rotating storms initially. That's our biggest concern, and we'll show that in a second. So high pressure keeps things quiet today. Warm front and a trailing cold front bring in that severe weather as we head into tomorrow. So on our Skycast, sunshine, pretty quiet day today. Have any outdoor plans? Get out and enjoy it because it's going to be pretty nice out there this afternoon. Mild tonight, lows in the 40s and 50s tomorrow. By around the mid-afternoon, there's potential for these rotating storms to form. Notice right there, you can see mainly quiet conditions. Other models indicating a storm or two to form. This is the area of biggest uncertainty. Either way, following that, there's a best shot for straight line storms arriving by 8, 9, 10 p.m. And then that ends as things quiet down and cool off as we approach Wednesday. So your 7-day forecast, last heads up. So today, sunshine, quiet weather. Tomorrow, the potential for a rotating storm or two in the time frame of 3 to 5 p.m. That's our biggest concern. Then a trailing round of storms around 8 to 10 p.m. That's our less concerning storm trend. But still, 2 rounds here and there. It's enough to warrant an alert or a weather-aware day. And of course, with the Weather Storm Tracker 2 app, great tool to have out and about.
Definitely. If you don't have it,
yes,
get it. Eric, thanks. Well, as the Trump administration continues
News with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
The Missing Beaver has some good weather today, but better watch out for some storms tomorrow.
Yes, that's right. We're treated some sunshine today, and yes, an alert day tomorrow for the potential for that. But first, at least for now, the sun is shining, the temperatures are climbing. We're already approaching the 50s. In parts of the Mohawk Valley as we speak. And matter of fact, I believe I must have missed the temperature graphic there, but you can believe me, it's in the 50s to low 60s right now. Here we go, 61 degrees out there in downtown Utica for now. The radar looking dry as well, looking completely quiet. It'll remain quiet through the early afternoon to early evening, even overnight as well, and even to early tomorrow. But things will change as we look ahead to the next several hours. So here we are. Here's that rain shower chance out to the west. It's going to move east as we approach tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. That could fire up 1 or 2 rounds of storms And some of these could be on the strong to severe side. We're tracking the potential for thunderstorms, strong wind gusts, even hail, and an isolated tornado can't be ruled out. We'll have the latest details on this approaching system coming up in just a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. No update from state police yet.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. A top 10 day today, and it's already Monday. I know a lot of you were upset about the weekend. Well, not shaping up too nice weather-wise. You know, rain showers Saturday and cold rain on Sunday. But today, different story. Sunshine in Oneonta. Temperature sitting at 59 degrees and climbing as we speak. And on top of that, the trees still beginning to become a little more green out in the distance. Radar looking dry for now, and as we zoom out, radar and satellites picking up a massive storm system out in the Midwest. So far, it's not really firing up any significant severe weather, but still, the zone in the Twin Cities area, Minneapolis and St. Paul, and of course Wisconsin, Iowa, in the Brown area, all in a level 3 or level 4 out of 5 risk for severe weather. That's happening today. This is what's happening tomorrow. Notice, of course, we are in the yellow and brown zone, and that's our focus looking ahead to tomorrow afternoon. So why is it an alert day? Well, we have lots of shear or change in wind speed or direction with altitude. Unstable atmosphere, heat, humidity. It's not a whole lot, but it's there. A strong driver being a cold front and a lack of cloud cover. Multiple ingredients present here that could produce severe weather. And here's a zoom up shot of it. Now again, don't follow these verbatim when it comes to these lines. Of course, there's yellow here and brown, level 3 out of 5 to the west, level 2 out of 5 much of the region, but most of our area will be experiencing level 2 out of 5 risk. Biggest concerns with the initial round of storms: strong winds, heavy rain, hail, isolated tornado possible. The second round of storms will be much more straight line wind driven. Main concerns being strong winds, heavy rain, maybe some hail, but no tornado risk. So bigger picture, we have this warm air moving in. This is the setup here, this warm front and this trailing cold front that rolls through right here. This is the setup you need for a severe weather event. Now, it's not a very high chance severe weather event, but the chances are there. Ingredients are present. Just the ingredients have to be made into a severe weather soup. And of course, in the next half hour, I'll show a diagram that pretty much explains a watch versus a warning. Either way, plenty of sun today. Temperatures in the 60s. Tomorrow, a dry start, a mild start. Warming up quickly into the 60s and 70s by tomorrow afternoon. Cutting it close for a shower or storm potential by 4 or 5. Notice here our model looking pretty quiet. A separate model showing active weather. So this is why we have to be vigilant for tomorrow. Then a secondary round of rain and storms arrive in the evening. Then severe weather risk ends by 10:30, 11 o'clock, and it ends for the next couple of days. So the alert day is in effect for tomorrow, and then by Wednesday and Thursday, drier, quieter, sunshine, a little cooler as well. But again, that severe weather risk does end. So it's primarily for tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow evening, then the risk ends.
And you were mentioning this morning, get the app, right? Yes,
the app, very useful, sends you warnings directly to your phone, nearby lightning strikes and downpours.
That's for sure. Eric, thank you. Now to a very Now, meteorologist Eric Gage joining us, and of course we have a beautiful day today, but your eyes are on tomorrow, right?
Yeah, it's pretty active weather tomorrow. We are tracking the potential for some storms to roll in the afternoon. In fact, with the severe weather potential tomorrow, I want to give a heads up. The difference between a watch and a warning. I know sometimes the language gets confused, and to be fair, sometimes it's not very well explained, but here we are with the difference between a watch and a warning. So think of it as you're making riggies. You have all the ingredients for riggies with a watch, but you don't actually have riggies. You have all the cherry peppers, you have the cream, you have all the spices, but you just don't have the riggies itself. A warning means you are having riggies right now. So that might be a pretty somewhat Utica way of explaining watches versus warnings, and overall the explanation is with a watch, You have all the ingredients present for severe weather, but there's no severe weather present at this time versus a warning, which means if you are in the warning area, severe weather is currently taking place. So just clearing the confusion with the watch and warning criteria here. Oneonta, temperature up 2 degrees to 61 degrees as we speak, and we got sunshine across the board here in upstate New York right now. Again, alert day in effect for tomorrow. Biggest concern, strong winds, wind gusts and hail. Isolated tornado risk is low but non-zero, and we'll get to that, of course, in a few minutes. Radar looking dry. Next 12 hours, plenty of sun. We're tracking the latest on that storm potential tomorrow in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And historic church, the Claiborne.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. On this Monday, we are tracking plenty of sunshine across the board. Temperatures have climbed already into the upper 50s, low 60s, officially 61 in Oneonta right now. And beyond that, we're looking at even a warmer day tomorrow, but it won't be nearly as dry. Dry currently on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, and we'll see things remain dry for the entire day, this evening, tonight, and even early tomorrow. But our focus is on this giant area of low pressure here in the Midwest, which is likely to fire up a bunch of storms in the Twin Cities area of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa, and even some other outlying zones here in the Browns. So far, it hasn't really produced a whole lot of severe weather, but it is still the early afternoon and things could change. Either way, the system will continue to move its way east, affecting us tomorrow. And you can see here, we are in a yellow and yellow and brown zone there, which is level 2 and level 3 out of 5 risk for severe weather. We'll show that map in a zoomed in shot in a second here. But just factoring off these key ingredients here and why tomorrow is an alert day. We've got lots of shear, change in wind direction and speed with altitude, and unstable atmospheres. Not a whole lot of instability, but there's still instability there. A strong driver being a cold front and a lack of cloud cover, at least heavy cloud cover, which will not reduce the potential for severe thunderstorms. So notice here, level 2 out of 5 risk for the area in yellow, level 3 out of 5 risk for the area in brown. Now, don't take these lines verbatim. This mostly affects us in the level 2 out of 5 range. Either way, there's potential for 2 rounds of storms, one in the early evening and one in the late evening. Early evening risks, high winds, hail, maybe a rotating storm or two that could fire up a tornado. It's a low but non-zero risk. Later on in the evening, a trailing cold front, strong winds, maybe some hail. Main concern, though, the strong winds part with straight line winds. Either way, you can see this low pressure arriving as early as tomorrow afternoon. With a warm front and that trailing cold front, the key ingredients here for that severe weather potential. So today, no severe weather expected. A few passing clouds, otherwise highs in the 60s. A beautiful afternoon, likely top 10-day material. Tonight, looking quiet, lows in the 40s and 50s. Tomorrow, dry start, a few wispy clouds in the early afternoon, followed by the potential for a storm to fire up in the early evening. Notice here, one of our models shows mainly nothing. Our secondary model here, the HRRR, could show a few of these storms firing up. So there's still uncertainty, but we'd rather play on the side of caution than not. Then that ends, and there's a secondary round that arrives roughly between 8 and 10 p.m. So again, recapping, today's looking quiet. Tomorrow starts out quiet. Heads up weather-wise tomorrow between 3 and 5 p.m. Then later on, 8 to 10 p.m. 2 different rounds. And of course, you can download the Storm Tracker 2 app right there in the bottom of your screen. The QR code, you can get the weather app, which gives you notifications of warnings, lightning strikes, downpours. Very useful tool if you're not watching TV when it happens.
And if you haven't done it before, now's the time.
Yes, great tool.
Eric, thank you. As the world
News with Kristen Copeland.
Plenty of sunshine today and mild temperatures, but changes are coming. Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis has issued a Storm Tracker 2 alert for tomorrow, and he's here now to tell us why. Bill, good evening.
Yeah, Kristen, we have a strong cold front coming in, and we think that there's going to be some pretty strong storms with this. The timing is going to be late in the day, so if you have any plans, Earlier in the day looks fine, but as we head towards sunset, we're thinking that these storms fire up and produce gusty winds. Hail is possible, and there's some wind shear in the atmosphere, so there is a very low but non-zero risk of a tornado. An isolated tornado is possible. Again, that's not the big thing. I think there's going to be a higher chance of wind and hail with these as they arrive later in the day. This evening, the weather looks fantastic. It's been a beautiful day. We hit 70 degrees. We've had a light wind out there. If you're going out, going the distance, going for a run, it's perfect weather. It's going to stay nice through tomorrow morning into the early afternoon before those storms develop and move in. I've got more details on this coming up. Kristen, back to you.
Well, thank you. Utica police arrested a man.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening, a beautiful day, lots of sunshine. We're sitting at 70 degrees as we take a live look in downtown Utica. An absolutely gorgeous day. Plenty of sunshine will continue this evening. We look to stay dry. And this is good news because with clear skies, looking to the southeast around 7:04 to 7:06, there is a rocket launch that comes from Cape Canaveral that will be traveling across the Atlantic, and we should be able to see this by looking into the southeastern portion of the sky, low along the horizon. If you've got a good vantage point, you might be able to spot this comet, or this rocket, I should say. Again, it's going to be visible in our area for about 2 minutes between 7:04 and 7:06. Again, clear skies expected. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. All is quiet across the region. Of course, the big focus weather-wise is on tomorrow. The Storm Prediction Center has parts of central New York in what's considered enhanced risk. So that's a level 3 out of 5 in terms of overall risk of strong storms. And the primary concern here is some strong winds later in the day along with hail. Tornadoes are not the primary concern, but there is a risk there. It's very low, but it's not zero. And again, the idea here is that these storms develop later in the day. A lot of them arrive after sunset. And again, some of them could produce some stronger weather. And this is a good time, a good way to remind you to have different ways of getting weather warnings. You can get them through a weather radio. A very simple way is to download our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. You can get warnings for your location. Also, when lightning is in your area, that will give you an alert as well. So it's very handy to have, especially on days like tomorrow, and we encourage you to check that out if you haven't already downloaded it. Temperatures in the 70s. Again, just a beautiful day. Little Falls 73, Westerville 71, Cooperstown 72, Oneonta with 68. We are tracking a big weather maker to the west tonight, producing some strong weather in Minnesota and Iowa. This is going to be moving east. And again, this is going to be our weather maker for tomorrow. Till that arrives, the weather looks nice. Sunshine this evening. Temperatures will cool off. We'll drop down into the 40s tonight with mostly clear skies. Beautiful weather to start tomorrow. Sunshine for the first part of the day. And then as that cold front arrives, we're expecting some showers and thunderstorms to develop. I think a lot of this will be late in the day. In fact, our Skycast is bringing this in between about 8:30 to 10:30 across the region. So again, in the evening time, a line of storms is expected to move through. Primarily a wind maker, some locally heavy rain as well. This will move to the east tomorrow night, and then our weather will quiet down and cool off as we look ahead to Wednesday. Clear skies tonight, low of 46. Tomorrow starts out nice, but then those storms arrive late in the day. High temperature of 77. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Cooler on Wednesday, 55 for the high. We're down into the 30s on Wednesday night, so patchy frost is expected. Thursday, sunshine 66. We're into the 70s on Friday, and then it starts to cool down again as we head into the weekend.
Yeah, more seasonal.
Yes.
All right, Bill, thank you. Passengers aboard for PetSake Food Pantry will be doing a meteorologist Bill Curtis and talk about the threats for tomorrow.
Yeah, we're talking about the chance for storms later in the day with the primary concern of high winds, hail, and some locally heavy rain. There is a very small risk that a few of these storms could produce an isolated tornado. It's a very low risk, but it's not a zero risk. And by the way, as an aside, I know we had a big weather event, a big weather summer last year with severe weather, and it's brought about a lot of storm anxiety. People that have dealt with strong weather, they don't forget it. And it's our job here to just inform you as to what's going on. And we're going to cut through the hype as best as we can and my recommendation is just learn more about weather. The more that you learn, you realize that these type of events are not as common as you might think. And also, too, there's ways that we can tell when these things are going to happen. And just being aware and being informed is kind of a way to combat some of the feelings that you get when these storms are in the forecast. Temperatures tomorrow in the upper 70s, but it does cool down as that cold front rolls through. We're into the 50s here on Wednesday, and then we start to warm up again later in the week. It's dry. It's a lovely evening here in central New York. If you're going to take the dogs out, perfect weather to do that. Smoke and Jax, tonight's featured dogs from Ilion. If you want to be part of this, send your dog photos to Facebook. Just search for Skycast WKTV. This is brought to you by Nissan. Kristen, back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you. The Rock and Roll Hall of
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening, an absolutely beautiful day. It's going to be a lovely evening here in central New York. This is a live look in Oneonta. Bright blue sunny skies and lots of springing across central New York. Look at those leaves. Things have really popped in the last couple of days, especially after the rain that we've had over the weekend. I know it wasn't the nicest weekend, but it sure changed here this Monday. We've got clear skies in place for the possibility of viewing a rocket launch that's happening in Cape Canaveral. This is the Atlas V rocket launch that's taking place at 7 o'clock this evening. The trajectory will move this across the Atlantic, which means we could see this in the southeastern sky low along the horizon between 7:04 to 7:06 this evening. So it's something to watch here tonight as the weather looks really nice. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look quiet. Things are going to change tomorrow. We have a cold front on the way. We have a Storm Tracker 2 alert day. As this cold front moves in, we want you to be aware that thunderstorms are going to arrive late in the day. These thunderstorms could produce some strong winds, some heavy rain, and there is a low risk for an isolated tornado. It's not zero, but it's very low, and we want you to be aware of that as well, that we may see some stronger storms later in the day between about 8:30 to 10:30 in the evening. And also, too, there's ways to stay on top of the weather, to be informed. Downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app is one way to get weather warnings. We're encouraging people to have multiple ways of getting weather warnings throughout the summertime as we get into severe weather season. One way to do this is our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. Another way is by purchasing a weather radio. It's another way of getting information. As we look at temperatures across the region, it's been a very warm day. A lovely evening. Clinton 73, Cassville 71. Less wind in Helen's backyard these days. Jeff and Mohawk 69, Old Forge 66, Westford 67. Beautiful weather today. It's going to stay nice through tomorrow, through the first part of tomorrow, and then this arrives. This is a cold front producing some strong weather in areas like Minneapolis and Iowa and Wisconsin. This is going to be moving east tonight, and that'll be our weather maker tomorrow. Clear skies tonight. Overnight lows drop into the mid-40s. We'll start out tomorrow morning with sunshine, highs in the high temperatures climbing to the mid-70s, so another warm afternoon. A few clouds arrive late in the day, and thunderstorms are expected to develop. There's a very small chance that a few could develop in the late afternoon, but I think the bulk of this will arrive in the evening. So by 9 p.m., a line of storms working in from the west. These will be weakening as they move east, as we lose the heating of the sun, but still, it's going to be really close. A really close call for some stronger weather, especially for areas from Utica and points west. That looks to be the higher chance of seeing any stronger winds as this line rolls through. Clear skies tonight, low 46. Beautiful day tomorrow until the storms arrive late, a high of 77. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Cooler on Wednesday, 55. We're down into the 30s Wednesday night. Sunshine Thursday. We warm up into the 70s on Friday, to cool down as we head into the weekend, into the 50s Saturday and Sunday. We'll be right back.
With Kristen Copeland.
Lots of sunshine today, and that's how we're going to start the day tomorrow, but that's going to end with storms. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis is tracking what's to come. He issued a Storm Tracker 2 alert. Bill, what can you tell us?
We're watching what happens tomorrow evening very closely. We've got an alert day for this so that you are informed that these storms are going to be in the area. We're thinking the timing is going to be late in the day First part of tomorrow looks beautiful, but then these storms come in, primarily concerned about gusty winds, heavy rain, and some hail. That's going to be possible in these storms as they roll through. And we're going to be keeping an eye on these storms, too, because there's going to be some wind shear in the environment, which could lead to a very small but possible isolated tornado. Again, the risk is not zero, but it's very, very small. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The weather looks lovely this evening, and it's going to stay nice. Temperatures have made it to 70 degrees, currently 70, low humidity. The humidity will be increasing as we head into tomorrow as that cold front arrives. Again, it's looking very lovely this evening, temperatures in the 60s. We're tracking out, putting together the timeline of these storms and when these storms will be moving out. Going to look at the forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you. We are following breaking news out of
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
What a gorgeous day. Lots of sunshine, warm temperatures hit 70 degrees. Let's take a live look in downtown Utica. Things are greening up. We've seen a big change in the last couple of days as spring is moving forward across central New York. It's going to be another beautiful day tomorrow, but things are going to change later in the day. Before we get there, let's talk about a rocket launch that we are expecting to be able to see tonight in the southeastern sky. The rocket launch comes from Cape Canaveral, Florida. It's the Atlas V rocket, launching at 7 o'clock this evening. Between 7:04 and 7:06, this should be visible in the southeastern sky. So if you have a good view of the southeast, see if you can spot this. Skies are expected to be clear. Things look beautiful this evening. The weather looks nice. Our sunset is approaching 8 o'clock, so if you haven't had a chance to get out and enjoy a lovely day, you have time, and the weather's looking great. Different story tomorrow. We have the risk for strong weather. The Storm Prediction Center has the western part of our area what's called enhanced risk. That's at level 3 out of 5 in terms of severe weather, the overall risk. And what that means is we have the potential of seeing storms produce strong winds, locally heavy rainfall, and small hail. There is the risk of a tornado tomorrow, but it's very low. So an isolated tornado is possible. It's one of those days where there's some wind shear in the atmosphere. And again, it's not the primary concern, but it's there. And the timing of this looks to be later in the day. It's very important to have ways of getting weather warnings. So if you're not near a TV or if you're outdoors, a very easy way to get weather warnings is by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. This is getting weather warnings for free. And also it detects lightning and heavy rain near your location, which is helpful, especially when there's storms coming in. Our sky watchers checking in. A warm day and a lot of happy sky watchers today. Bob and Clinton 73 degrees, Helen and Cassville 71, Jeff and Mohawk 69, and Worcester with 72. The weather system that arrives tomorrow comes from the west, and it's producing some strong weather in Minnesota and Iowa this evening. This is going to be moving east, and again arrives late in the day tomorrow. It's clear skies tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the 40s. We start out tomorrow morning with sunshine. It's going to be a warm afternoon. The first half of the day looks lovely, but then the storms arrive. A line of storms expected to arrive around 9 p.m. from the west. We think this is going to be a line of storms moving through between about 8:30 to 10:30 in the evening. They will be weakening as they move east, and then things will quiet down as we head into tomorrow night. Some cooler weather in the way for Wednesday. Clear tonight, low of 46. Beautiful start to tomorrow, but again, those storms arrive late in the day, high of 77. Storm Tracker 2's 7-day forecast, 50s on Wednesday. Chilly Wednesday night. We're down into the low 30s, but then we warm up. Sunshine Thursday, 66. Back into the 70s here as we look ahead to Friday.
All right, Bill, thank you. Still to come here on News Channel 2 at 6, a pet
Palace.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. We're going to get to those stories in a minute, but first we bring in Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis tracking an alert day for tomorrow. What's on tap?
We're following a cold front. It's expected to produce some thunderstorms. A few of these could be a little bit stronger later in the evening, so we want people to be aware of this.
Right.
Just a heads up, our primary concern is strong winds, some locally heavy rain, and some of these storms could produce hail. There is a low risk because we have some wind shear in place that there could be an isolated tornado, but I don't think that's going to be the main concern. Again, this is going to be arriving later in the day. A lot of these storms get here either near or after dark. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look pretty quiet. Temperature-wise, not bad, although it's cooling off. We're 51 degrees. We made it up to 70 earlier today. We'll be in the upper 70s tomorrow before that cold front arrives. It cools off dramatically Wednesday. We'll warm up again towards Friday. Another cold front arrives, and we do this again with a big drop in temperature expected Saturday. Clear skies tonight, low temperature 46. We're timing these storms out. We're going to dive more into the impacts here as well. We'll look at the forecasts coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. We are hearing from the governor.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
A nice night in downtown Utica, a temperature of 51 degrees, clear skies across central New York, cooling off. We made it into the 70s today, low humidity, and that's one of the reasons why it's cooling off so quickly at night, is because we have that low humidity. It's not going to stay this way, though, because we have a south wind coming in. The humidity is going to rise, and that is going to help fuel a few thunderstorms late tomorrow. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, things look pretty quiet. Breaking down the severe weather risk tomorrow. High winds, the primary thing that we're watching. We think this line's going to develop and move in from the west, and the Storm Prediction Center has areas to our west, western Oneida County, western Madison County, what's called enhanced risk. That's a level 3 out of 5. Most of our areas, what's considered slight risk, that's a 2 out of 5. Bottom line is the whole area is going to be under this risk of storms tomorrow. Flooding, hail, also concerns, and yes, there is the risk of a tornado, but it is very low. We would call this an isolated tornado, and there's absolutely no way that we have the ability to tell what spots or exactly where that could be impacting, if at all. But we will tomorrow as we get more information as the storms start to develop. If any of those storms do turn severe, that's when we can get into action and let you know what's going on. And the way that you can stay up to date with this is to download our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. You can get instant alerts to your phone as weather information comes in. You can also get detections of when lightning is nearby as well as heavy rain. Again, something that's very helpful to have throughout the season. Bigger picture shows a cold front moving in from the west. This is producing some stronger weather in Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin. This is heading east, and this is going to be our weather maker for tomorrow. Tonight, clear skies, overnight lows drop down into the 40s. It's a beautiful day tomorrow, at least to start, and in fact, most of the day looks nice. We can have partly sunny skies, temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. It's not until later in the day, this is even after 5 o'clock, where thunderstorms are expected to develop. In fact, our Skycast has this rolling in not until 9 o'clock in the evening. So again, most of the day pretty quiet. Even for things in the afternoon and early evening, I think we're okay. But then this line comes in and it could produce some strong weather. Things will start to quiet down as we head into tomorrow night, and cooler weather to follow for Wednesday. Clear skies tonight, low 46. Tomorrow, beautiful afternoon. Again, watch out late in the day. Some storms are expected to arrive after sunset. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Cooler on Wednesday, 55. Frost possible Wednesday night. Thursday, 66. Into the 70s on Friday. Another cold front rolls in, cooling us off heading into the weekend.
This is why you don't plant until after Mother's Day.
Gotta be careful what you plant for sure. Yeah.
All righty, thank you, sir. Coming up next.
First, news with Jason Palace.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're going to get to those stories in a minute. First, though, we're with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis, tracking an alert day for tomorrow.
Yes.
What can we expect? Not just an alert to let everybody know this is coming.
Yeah, we're doing this so that you're not caught off guard.
Right.
We're expecting storms later in the day. A few of these could be on the stronger side. Strong winds, heavy rain, some small hail, an isolated tornado. Not out of the question. It's very low risk, but it's there. We're going to be tracking this for later in the day. A lot of this is going to be arriving towards sunset. A live look outside this evening. The weather looks quiet. A lovely night out there. We made it into the 70s earlier today. It has cooled off dramatically since then. Our current temperature 53 degrees, the dew point 37. It is going to turn more humid tomorrow compared to today, and it even gets warmer. Temperatures are expected to be in the upper 70s tomorrow afternoon. We drop off dramatically on Wednesday as that cold front moves through. Back into the 60s Thursday, 70s Friday, we do it again. Another cold front arrives Friday afternoon, cooling us off into the 50s over the weekend. Clear skies tonight, we're down to 46. Again, tracking some stronger weather late tomorrow. I've got the timing and the impact and when this all comes to an end, and that's coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. We are hearing from the governor.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A lovely night in downtown Utica. Temperature 53 degrees, clear skies. We've cooled off quite a bit compared to earlier today. We made it into the 70s this afternoon as a warm day across central New York. We get another warm day tomorrow before a strong cold front arrives. And again, it's quiet out there tonight, but this is going to look very different as we head into tomorrow. First things first, severe weather risk tomorrow across the board. I think just about all of us will see storms late in the day. There is a higher risk for stronger weather in the western part of our area. So western Oneida County, western Madison County. The Storm Prediction Center has these spots in what's called enhanced risk. So that's the level 3 out of 5. But again, slight risk for the remainder of the area. That's only one small step down. The general idea is that this is widespread and it's mostly a wind event. Widespread straight line winds expected. Some locally heavy rain, about a ½ inch to an inch expected. Some small hail is possible tomorrow, and there's some wind shear in the atmosphere, so tornadoes, or at least an isolated tornado, can't be ruled out, although that is not expected to be the norm. And as things develop tomorrow, should we do get severe weather, there's an easy way to get up-to-date information. Even if you're not near the television, you can download our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. It's free, and it's a way to get instant warnings to your phone as weather changes, as well as lightning detection. It'll detect if lightning is within a few miles of your location, which is just very helpful to have, especially if you're going to be outdoors this summer when strong storms happen. Bigger picture shows quiet weather for now, but this is the weather maker. It's happening in Minnesota, Wisconsin, some stronger storms moving east. And again, that's going to be our weather for tomorrow. Clear skies tonight, down into the 40s. Beautiful day tomorrow. The majority of tomorrow looks nice. During the afternoon, temperatures climb into the mid-70s. We're dry through 1 o'clock, through 5 o'clock. It's not until after sunset that these storms arrive. In fact, Skycast has this line around 9 o'clock in the evening. By that point, the storms to the west strong, but they should be weakening as they move east. And we're kind of hoping that that's the case, especially for areas south and east of Utica, slightly lower chance of stronger storms. The bottom line is we all have to watch this very closely. We'll cool off as we head into tomorrow night, and Wednesday looks like a much cooler day with a return to sunshine. Clear tonight, down to 46. Beautiful day tomorrow. Watch out late in the day. A high temperature of 77. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast into the 50s Wednesday. Frost in the forecast Wednesday night. Thursday, sunshine 66 up to into the 70s Friday. Another cold front arrives, and we cool off again as we head into the weekend.
And that frost is why you got to be careful what you plant.
Yeah, not planting anything frost sensitive until Mother's Day, Memorial Day. All depends on where you live.
Also true,
Yeah.
which you will lay out for us in the weeks and days ahead. Thank you very much, Bill. Coming up next.